Felt like I had to do P1 and P2 here. Just couldn't do it. Starting fresh on this one. I'll end it tonight sometime. Uh, Whenever I go to bed. But yeah, I had to get that first one saved for some reason. Not for some reason, because for some reason I believe there are people listening to it, and it makes me feel better. I'm terrified of what they might say or do, and how they might feel. Yeah. It's now the 9th, 12:25 a.m. I'll be stopping it here pretty soon, actually. I did start to feel better towards the end of today. I think the grapefruit the grapefruit juice, black pepper combination is not very good. Seems to be pretty significant in not allowing me to get stuff out of my system, but I think some of its half-life's finally gotten through me. That's the thing, whenever I wake up, my first pee in the morning is pretty damn rank. As a result of whatever excess stuff that's stuck around for a while. Because grapefruit juice and black pepper both keep stuff in your body. It stops your body from being able to process certain things. Potentially. Yeah. I know nobody wants me to apologize, but I needed to. For me, if not for you, if you didn't see it was that big of a deal, what I was doing, saying, that's okay, but it was a big deal to me, and it made me feel worse about myself doing those things. I didn't feel true to myself, and I had a significant amount of two-facedness. There's another word for it. Fate. Like wearing a mask or something, or whenever you get imposter syndrome or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I started believing it was God because I was able to predict things and do all this, and because I didn't even know if there was somebody there. And now I say I didn't predict anything. People have similar thoughts and views as mine. There was no hacker. It's just basic random glitches that happen in any system. There's no one out there. I need to go find someone. I mean, there's no hacker or collective or anything like that going on. But well, I'm tired, man. Yeah, I think I might just take that interview for the housing, just go for it, see what happens, and try and make it work. It's the only thing I've got really going on. It's not impossible to make it work, and it's really not even so much farther away from everything. It's a bit of a drive, but not impossible. I'll probably have to move from the Stapley to something else. Same with the Santan Clinic. That's if I get it. Gotta take the chance. I'm gonna make that chance, but I honestly don't even know what to do socially to take a chance to date. Truthfully, I haven't even thought about it. It hasn't even been on my mind. Everything's just been, let's try and make friends at most. See if I can cope with that. Become somewhat of a better friend than I am now. Constantly ditching, not even really calling, texting. Even if I'm infatuated and obsessed over somebody, which, God, I don't think I've ever had that happen. Even my strongest crushes that I had in elementary, hell, took a while. Well, the end of elementary school, end of elementary school to middle school was right around when I just squashed them. Because why would I ever talk to them? Just because I like them. They obviously don't like me. And I'm obviously not good enough. So why should I even try? And then getting terrified of the idea of an individual actually liking me. Because of everything that they might do to me and hurt me in new ways I don't even know how to begin to describe. This was me, fucking 4th grade. Granted, I didn't know those were the words, but those were the feelings. It's not the same anymore. I definitely am able to open up more to people and just in general become better able to, have a conversation. But, I ain't got no confidence in myself or self-worth. You kind of build that up over time. I understand that nobody wants to have a new substance included, but quite frankly, for me, it's just gonna be another medication to try. That's ultimately how I see it. Oh, alright, this is the new medication plan. Some new hope, maybe it'll help me out. It has way better potentiation factors than anything I've ever tried before, so hopefully it'll do some work. That is, if it ever shows up and I don't end up having to buy my own fucking tree bark. Get some DMT boiled. Which I don't really want to do that, truthfully. It's kind of annoying. Well, that's not true. It actually seems pretty interesting to do like a little chemistry experiment. Same with growing mushrooms. Actually, the whole thing just interests me because it's like learning new little tidbits of information that, who knows, maybe you end up finding useful elsewhere in your life. That's the best part about picking up small hobbies. You never know where those little tiny things that you pick up in them can become useful elsewhere. In your career, in your social life, whatever it is. Building, if that's the case. Find almost every little project you do, you learn a small lesson or two. Anyways. currently I'm mostly just working on getting my own ass out of the house and doing stuff. I've kind of taken it upon myself to just look around the local Goodwills every couple of days and walk around and maybe hit a grocery store that's in the area too. Just walk around. It's actually pretty nice. I'm always waiting to find something, because you never know. But yeah, so far, there's some old crap, really. There's one thing in the Dobson place that had I think it was a stereo mixer, but it was like not even $7, and I doubt the damn thing played. The knob it wasn't loose, but it didn't feel like it was turning anything. You know what I mean? Which could be indicative of a digital knob that just got used so much that it lost that like tactile, frictiony smoothness that gives you the indication that it's doing something. I'm liking that. I managed to go for that walk. It did seem to help. Going for a drive and listening to my music did help. I'm having trouble with ruminating thoughts. Yeah, I survived today, but I'll tell you what, I would have survived today a lot nicer on cannabis. However, I'm feeling more and more like cannabis to be sort of just like as a basic tool for some extra help or fun, depending on the situation. I know that not everybody likes the idea, but it's for me. CBD's, incredibly good for a lot of different things, truthfully. Well, I shouldn't say a lot of different things. It's definitely good for a good few number of things, yes. But THC and some of those other cannabinoids beyond CBD, like CBN, and there's a CG something, I forget what it was. But there are a few other cannabinoids that are in there that have their own properties. We still haven't truly explored their usefulness, honestly. We know some of the basic effects of it, but short-term side effects, long-term side effects, what would happen if you were given just this versus this together with THC, CBD, all these other things. There's the argument of the entourage effect in the plant causing the overall abundance of help from it versus singling out and targeting specific compounds and molecules within the plant to more specified and targeted treatment. It's unfortunate because it really depends on what you're trying to do. If you're an individual that's specifically trying to target one thing, and if you try it, meaning, let's say you're just very depressed and you were only given like THC pills. They didn't come with anything else, but it's just THC pills. There's a regular amount. You were told to take X amount, however many times a day or once a day, whatever it is. It's supposed to help with depression. Well, because it doesn't have the terpenoids from the cannabis, it doesn't enter the blood-brain barriers effectively. thus creating more of a body effect. It's also getting, depending on what type of THC, because there are so many different kinds that can affect the CB1 receptor. I mean, you look at that one guy that just created a whole bunch of different synthetic or like products to the THC compound. He shows up looking for funding to try and basically say, hey, look, pharmacy, I have these compounds. They're similar to the stuff from cannabis, but they're better. They don't come with the come down. They don't come with all the other side effects. They don't come with these issues that we're dealing with now. For dry mouth and psychosis and other things. Think about that. We can tailor make an entire pill that has all the right compounds together to treat and specify multiple different illnesses in some cases. Granted, it would be a lot easier to target specifically one, but there is still the possibility, because some of these compounds will ultimately have more uses than just one thing that they're affecting. It ultimately can be a benefit in multiple ways. And that's not even getting into the whole psychedelic research of compounds, where, sure, we have current ones that do what they do, but imagine, if you will, something that gives you a similar effect, but with you take it every day, and it's like the perfect microdose. Like you can help ADHD people, you can help PTSD people, like there's many different things that can be done. I just think that our pharmacology is limited and lacking because, unfortunately, it's a market world rather than a health care world. You are working for the stock market and what you can sell versus the services and overall correct treatment and quality of treatment and care that you receive. If you don't have the right amount of money or the right insurance or both, you're pretty fucked. And like your options are fairly limited. It's a pretty shitty thing. And ultimately, we need more trials to be done. Rodents are not even that great when it comes down to being able to test. It's just what we can do right now. Then we have human lab tests. People getting paid good money. No joke, pretty darn good money to essentially be a guinea pig. I will say this though, it comes with every bit of risk that you think it does. They don't know. You're supposed to be reporting whatever side effects you may or may not feel, and whether or not they won't tell you sometimes what it's supposed to do. Other times they will, and then there's the whole placebo not placebo thing. But in general, if they're paying you, you're getting that medication. They're just going to study the effects on the individual. From my understanding, now that could be wrong. And truthfully, I've thought about it. Take that, like, I don't know, was it a month or something? Gets me $5,000. Could do some decent shit, man. With that kind of cash, go on a couple of vacations, buy a decent graphics card for and a better CPU. Although, really, all I could do would be to upgrade to a i7 versus an i5. with my current motherboard. And if I do that, along with a new graphics card, it more than likely will say Windows, oh, this is a new or a different system, so we don't recognize it, therefore it's not fucking activated Windows bullshit. I don't know when that started becoming a thing, but it sucks. Like, I understand that for most people it's not a big deal, but for your core enthusiast base that basically gets people hooked into it, right? The enthusiasm of your software, or really just computers in general, it's terrible. It's just straight terrible, man. And, I mean, we all know it's just a money grab, because they feel like the people that have the ability to upgrade parts are going to be like, yeah, you know what, I'm also going to buy an OEM version, because that's that's kind of how it started. They realized system builders were skipping going for full versions because they were ridiculously expensive, and only getting a one-time use installation disc, which was usually like around $105, somewhere around there. But it's one-time use in terms of like the product code on the back is only good for one-time use. You can use the CD or the thumb drive multiple times, but the product key will only be good for one time, and that's it. And with how many times I've had after like my first real setup of my PC, my 2680s, I went through hell trying to switch things around, and I got a new CPU, and then I got this and that, and like it turned into a disaster of me just basically constantly needing to use this thing I just looked online called a key cracker or something like that. More than likely, I downloaded something that ultimately installed quite a good amount of malware or some sort of backdoor into my computer, but I believe that was quite a while ago, and I haven't needed to use it, so I really don't think anybody would be on my system now. But I wouldn't doubt that there are definitely some hackers out there that have my username and password for enough sites to be able to probably get to certain places that I would rather they'd never fucking get to. But so far they haven't done anything. I guess they realize I'm just flat broke, and it's really fucked up to just destroy a person's life when they literally have nothing to begin with. You know, it's like, let's kick the poor person while they're down and make them even poorer. Like, what? And they're mentally challenged health-wise? Your mental health... Their mental health is not that amazing, so it might take longer for them to get any of this situation regarding their accounts or their credit or any of that fixed. Like, it's just douchey. I don't understand why they don't just high profile anybody that has a job over 100 or about 250k a year. 250k a year. More than likely they wouldn't notice if you decided to buy something for yourself over at a McDonald's. Truthfully. And more than likely, with the information they could just bulk sell you. Wouldn't be that hard to just cross-reference data to find those individuals and just hit them as hard as possible. I mean, it's not like they're so much more protected. Rich people are dumb too and create their own multiple use accounts. I'm not saying that there aren't good ones that recognize computer security is a good thing, but I am saying that there are probably more than a few white old people that are pretty racist that don't think they need it. And aren't they just the best targets for basically fucking up their life? They deserve it. Everybody here knows they deserve it. Anybody that goes, oh, well, they weren't doing anything, or I'm like, I'm talking about assholes who got their money off of plantations. People who fucking destroy others. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking about the nice, somewhat nice, wealthy person that at least tries to donate what they can and does volunteer. And, they're not all evil. We all like to say they are, but they just got dealt a better hand. Oftentimes. It's unfortunate for the rest of us because it feels like the world is against us, but not everybody who made it to the top is evil, and I certainly don't mean most. Oh, look, celebrities are weird. Okay, there's hard work involved, yes, but oh my goodness, is there also so many like fake ass bitches and people that use their, well, I'm not going to get into using another person's success to gain fame, because ultimately that's kind of how you break into the industry, even though I really think it should be easier than that. Yeah. Not everybody's evil and out to get everybody. It just becomes this sort of bit of destruction that gets caused. Wealth begets wealth, but ultimately you gaining wealth means less wealth for somebody else. I understand hard work and perseverance are good. Doing the hard things and making those choices and all that, and you get rewarded for it. Put in the time and effort and you get rewarded for it. But there are many individuals working more than 2 jobs, trying to just keep a apartment over their heads and maybe feed their kids. So, yes, I understand you're not evil and that you didn't necessarily start this whole thing, but ultimately speaking, to me it feels very much like I don't know, destruction and demise everywhere I look. Yeah. I do like that song by Clint Eastwood, or by the Gorillaz, called Clint Eastwood. The lyric goes, corruption and demise from the fucking enterprise. Something along those lines. And, you can almost just chalk it up to other things as well, but yeah, you get depressed when you think about it for too long, man, because it's a lot harder than you think to change those things. And sadly, there really isn't anything anybody can do. I mean, I've said I love the idea of just straight razing it all to the ground. I also understand that more than likely wouldn't result in everything going so smoothly and in the right direction. I mean, you want the economy to tank so bad that the entire world goes into dystopia, basically, or so bad so fast that the entire world, just not a recession, not anything, but just straight up flips from these few very wealthy individuals to the rest of everybody, I think people will suddenly wake up and realize, oh, it doesn't matter how hard I work if I'm in a system that's never going to let me progress. You know? That doesn't mean everybody's going to be a CEO or top level manager. You need people that are on the bottom as well, but I feel like people can start setting up, because this is the thing, companies won't do something unless they have to, because it means making less money. There's a reason why rules and regulations are there. I understand the idea is that they can police themselves, but it doesn't fucking work that way. Ever. Human beings are corrupt as shit and will try and get over on many people, as many as they can. And all it takes is one scumbag to ruin many people's lives. So, regulations are a good thing. Putting up roadblocks to stop basically children, which are the entities at the top of these giant corporations, from doing stupid things that ruin people's lives. Not really giving a shit about those lives that they're ruining, because ultimately there's no consequence for them. You know, it doesn't mean lost wages or anything to them. It just means more money. I like some celebrities, sure, but the whole damn thing feels fake. A show within a show within a show within a show. Everybody trying to get one over on another, never trying to see and connect, feel like each other are worth something. I don't know, man. Truthfully, one of the least spiritual places on the planet are cities. They just suck the soul right out of everybody. I don't understand it. So many people come together. Should be a celebration. Unfortunately, the way it gets run and done is just a drain on society as a whole. Alright, I think I'm going to end it here. Good night.